Unhealthy eating habits have contributed to a lot of health problems epidemic today. Health problems like diabetes, high blood pressure, osteoporosis, arthritis, cancer, health disease, and so on. The good news is, if you can control what goes into your mouth and your body, you will live your best. For what you put into your mouth determines how well or sick you live. You and I know that poor diet is associated with major health risks that causes illness and even death. So, by making smart food choices today can help you protect yourself from all these health problems. Our integrative nutrition health specialist, Miss Betty Olayinka Folani Akinlosotu, aka Bufa, wants to see you living your best without any health issues. She made this known in her program showing every Sunday on Healthy Living with Bufa TV. She tells us how our food choice affects our health and how we feel today, tomorrow, and in the future. If you are opting for optimal health, from fighting free radicals to living your way into a healthy and beautiful body, here are some things you must do. Eat a nutritious, healthy, balanced diet every day. Practice your daily exercise and take your supplements, especially vitamin D, vitamin C, zinc, and chlorophyll to boost your immune system against free radicals that cause cancer and other diseases. Join us on this program every Sunday, 1:30 p.m. US time, 7:30 p.m. African time, and 6:30 p.m. United Kingdom time, where she educates on health and nutrition as well as features professionals from various fields to sensitize you on wellness. See you there.
Wow. Hello, beautiful people. Are you ready? Because I'm ready. If you're not ready, I'll give you a minute to get ready while I wait for you. But trust me, I believe you're all ready today. No doubt about it. It is a beautiful, safe, and healthy day for all of us today. And that is why you are able to stay up to this moment, streaming with us live on Healthy Living with Bufa TV channel. And thanks for this unconditional and genuine support. I'm Betsy Olayinka Folani Akinlosotu, aka Bufa, the host for this program. My goodness. Today is a special day, and the reason why it's a special day, I'll tell you in a minute. But before we go there, let me tell you what we have on interview segment today. Today on interview with experts, it's about food insecurity. And you and I know that this is one of the biggest problems in our country today, especially in Africa. How do we measure this important issue in our country? For the benefits of those of you who are wondering what food insecurity is all about, I know nothing about food insecurity, but I'll tell you what food security is, because that's the only thing I know, and that's the only thing I experience right here where I am. You see, food insecurity is not something we should be talking about in any country, because food security is a measure of the availability of food and individuals' ability to access it. And this means that all people at all times have should have physical, social, and economic access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food that meet their food preferences and dietary needs for an active and healthy lifestyle. There are many factors contributing to today's food security crisis. Food insecurity. But we focus most on climate change, which certainly have negative influence on food prices and food security. What about fuel price instability? The income and food security condition of small-scale farmers, pastoralists, and rural and urban net buyers. All these we're talking about leads to increased poverty that can quickly afflict the entire local community. Lack of food in any country will cause increased risk of some birth defect, anemia, lower nutrient intakes, malnutrition, cognitive problems, aggression and anxiety, crimes, and even death. Now, the question we should be asking one another, ourselves, is how can we prevent food insecurity in our country? The answer to that is coming shortly after our health segment, because today we have a very important personality, very important leader in our community that will bring solution. Maybe probably that will direct us to the right path where we can find solution to this food insecurity. Right now, it's Ed Corner. And when we return, it's our interview with experts. Let me bring you health first. Then we go right back to our interview with our expert. I know you can't wait to have this, and I can't wait either. But before then, let's quickly have our health corner and see what we have for you today. Then we begin the discussion on food insecurity. I'll be right back.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Living Healthy with Bofa. Last week, we discussed food allergies and the foods that we eat that we are allergic to and how our body reacts to them. This week, our topic is digestive system. How the food we eat digests in the body. Now, let's jump into it. Exploring your digestive system. The human digestive system consists of gastrointestines, tract, plus the accessory organs of digestion. Digestion involves the breakdown of food into smaller and smaller components until they can be absorbed and assimilated into the body, as we see in the diagram to the left. Process of food digestion. General. After you swallow, peristalsis pushes the food down your esophagus into your stomach. Glands in your stomach lining make stomach acid and enzymes that break down the food. Muscles of your stomach mix the food with these digestive juices. In a more specific process of food digestion, the digestive system ingests and digests food. After you absorb peristalsis, it excretes the food components that are indigestible. The 6 activities involved in the process are ingestion, motility, mechanical digestion, chemical digestion, absorption, and defecation. Functions of the digestive system. We see the breakdown to the left of us. The function of the digestive system is digestion and absorption. Digestion is the breakdown of foods into small molecules, which are then absorbed into the body. The digestive system is divided into 2 major parts. The digestive tract is the eliminatory canal. It's a continuous tube with 2 openings, the mouth and the anus. Now let's look at the function of 2 major parts of the digestive system, mouth and anus. The mouth is the first organ in the digestive system, and it is a cavity in which the teeth and tongue exist, and the salivary glands are open. The function of the mouth is cutting and grinding the food by teeth, and digest the starch into the sugar. Next, the anus is an external opening of the rectum. The primary function of the anus is to control the exit of feces from the body during an act of defecation. It's also known as waste that we use to help grow plants. Absorption. This is the passing of food molecules through the walls of the small intestines into our bloodstream. This is when the digestive food molecules are carried around the body to where they are needed. Note that the two primary roles of digestive processes are absorption and secretion. The main difference between digestion and absorption is the mechanism and function of each step during the intake of nutrients into the body. Now let's look at our key takeaways. Number 1, digestion involves breaking down of the food into small parts. Number 2, absorption involves transporting the digested food to where they are needed in the body. Number 3, make sure you eat the food that can digest easily, which we'll learn more about on the nutrition segment. Lastly, allow the food you eat to digest before eating another one. Therefore, be conscious of the time you eat. That's all we have for you this week. See you next week, Sunday. Remember, I love you, God love you, and love yourself.
Welcome back to Interview with Experts. I told you today is going to be awesome, beautiful, informative, and interesting. Let me tell you, in case you're just joining on for the first time, this is Healthy Living with Bofa TV, coming to you live every Sunday at this time. Anywhere you are in the world, just look at your time. This is when it's happening. Right now, we have our guest on the show. He's a time-conscious man, a man that I respect so much, a man that I've added value to my life and is still doing the same thing, and he will continue to do so till I say bye to this world. He is my father, my mentor, a great leader in our community. Let me do the introduction officially because I need to do this. But I'm just so excited because he is returning on our program today. In fact, our guest today was the chief launcher that inaugurated this program when we started. So for you to see how important he is to me. And today is on the program joining us again. And why is he on the program today? He's on the program because people requested we bring him back on the program. And that should tell you how important, how competent, educated this personality is. And the love people have for him. And at the same time, the love he has for his people. And that is why he's on the program today. We have on the program today our father, a great distinctive leader, a philanthropist, Professor S.A. Olagoke. Let me bring him on so that you can see the face. I told you, my father is always at my call all the time. Anytime I call him, it's right there. My goodness. Professor S.A. Olagoke served in the capacity of head of department and dean at School of Engineering, Federal Polytechnic, Ilaro, Ogun State, where he retired as a chief lecturer. Professor is the chairman, Senate in Africa, Brandeis University, USA, a chairman, board of trustees, Organization of Economics and Business Analysts of Nigeria. He is also the vice president, Birdleaf Healthy Foundation, an international health and wellness-based nonprofit organization. Our father is a fellow of 10 and member of 5 professional bodies. Fellow Nigerian Society of Engineers, fellow Nigerian Institute of Management, fellow National Association of Technologists in Engineering, fellow Academy for Entrepreneurial Studies, and fellow Chartered Institute of Environmental and Public Health Management of Nigeria. Professor is the founder, head, and chief imam, Shafaruddin, in Islam worldwide. He is an author, a writer, and his authorship cuts across engineering, environment, social religion, and social economic. Please join me in welcoming the father of a nation and hero, a loving father, a successful and lover of less advantaged, we all know as less privileged, Professor Sabit Ario Olagoke. Prof, you're welcome on Healthy Living with Bofa. You're muted. I guess it's muted.
Thank you very much.
How are you, sir?
Thank you. We are fine in Nigeria.
Thank you so much, sir, for coming back on the program today. We are happy to have you, and we pray for more good health, strength, wisdom from Almighty God. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Prof, we have few questions to ask you today, and we are actually bringing the question from food insecurity in our nation. Prof, let me start from knowing you first. I know a lot of people know you, a lot of people on the program today, they know you, but briefly, let's meet Professor S.A. Sabit in 10 seconds. Just tell us, let them know that I actually have you on the program. Hearing from the horse mouth, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm Alhaji Engineer Professor Sabit Ario Olagoke. I'm an author and a lover of humanity. I will always identify with those people that care for the poor and that believe in peace. Peaceful environments will ever aid progress and development. I'm a social commentator, and I'm struggling to play the role of an elder statesman here in Nigeria and in any other part of the world. Engineer Olagoke, I cut across almost all spheres of life: chemical engineering, industrial engineering, religion, management, politics, etc., etc.
Wow. Wow.
Okay.
Thank you so much. For the benefit of those of you that are just meeting our father for the first time, I need you to get your pen and paper, because you have some information to put down today, and those information will benefit you and will be useful for you for the rest of your life. I've done so in many places that he speaks whenever I have the opportunity to listen to him. I tap from the fountain of his blessings, his knowledge and wisdom. And today, you're one of them. Just grab your pen and paper, because you're about to learn something, get some information. Maybe probably this information you are getting would take you to Aso Rock tomorrow. I'm not sure about it, but let's see what is going to happen today. Prof, I would like us to focus on food security crisis in our country, probably in Nigeria. And this food insecurity is one of the biggest problems we have in the country today. Nigeria is an agricultural community, a country where almost everyone, both young and old, are now falling in love with farming. Prof, can you tell us what the word food insecurity means and what are the possible methods of measuring food insecurity as well as vulnerability at household level in an agricultural community.
Nigeria, with all the natural resources, most especially in the areas of agriculture, we were so much endowed. Unfortunately, we don't even know how we get to this particular state, whereby Nigeria is now part of the world. We are now talking of palliative. Now we are now talking of poorest of the poor. All these things originates from the fact that things have gone bad from food security to food insecurity. Food security from the World Food Summit of 1996 is about the physical, social, and economic assets. And that was the condition under which we were in the 60s, 50s, until 1970, when we began to fall short of this grace. Sufficiency was our watchword. Safety of even the food you eat. Because when you take things from naturally from the farm, you can see that it has not lost anything, the nutrients. And we used to enjoy it. To nutritious foods that make everybody to say, this is what I want to take. And they have it. Unfortunately, Nigeria experienced a kind of mismanagement and misplacement of priorities. In 1973, the oil boom deceived us. Through it, urbanization came up in Nigeria. And in the process, we neglected the areas of agriculture. In 1975, importation of rice, cassava began. And people were wondering, why? What is really changing all this? It is the governance style. It is that government is not capable and all those things. And that's why we continue to cry for Messiah. Unfortunately, successive governments, they make things worse than they found it, despite the promises that we are going to change everything for good. So we are now in a situation of limited and uncertain ability to acquire acceptable and safe food now. That is our situation as of now. In 1975, importation of rice and cassava. 1970s, generally, the mainstay of our economy, which became the oil, began to have problem with global pricing, whereby war in Israel and Arab problem worsened the situation, and we began to feel the fluctuation to the extent that it began to affect the areas of our budget in Nigeria. In 1979, population growth explosion skyrocketed, and government was now unable to match the neglect of agriculture somehow, and the population now to control the population with respect to the food that are available. So insufficiency began to creep in. So that was, in fact, that is the advice I always give all these politicians, that when you want power, first of all, what analyze Nigeria. Let us know the problems on ground. Let us know where we are coming from, and let us look at it. When you talk of SWOT analysis, it's about the strength we have, which are the abundant resources God has given us. It's about the opportunities we have. We have the human capital. We have everything. And the areas of weaknesses is in management, administration, tribalism, nepotism, which every leader that wants to come in needs to fix. Otherwise, he won't be able to perform or correct the aberrations. In 1982, the government then disbanded produce marketing boards, leading to cancellation of price control, which we were enjoying. So everything became a free market, and in a situation whereby scarcity was being experienced, you could know how people would now be seizing the advantage and to do things their own way. Then, as we were, corruption was not all that rife. But today, plus the corruption, the thing is now worsening. To the extent that unemployment that was alien to us, at least in 1984, the dollar and the naira were at par. So in 1984, Nigeria was even better off. But the anxiety that things were going down was there for every one of us. So I think when in 1976, our father Obasanjo then, as the head of state, tried to bring in the concept of Operation Feed the Nation. I happened to be one of the beneficiaries then. But I just discovered that the government was not strategic enough. What was a lot of graduates and undergraduates that were there, we were just collecting salaries after the month. We were doing nothing because it was not our calling. So if government wants to do anything reasonable about agriculture, which was our mainstay, when you look at this whole Southwest in Nigeria, and we refer to this to the former premier, that was Babafemi Awolowo. It was through agric that he was able to transform everything for Southwest. And Southwest became a kind of center of excellence whereby various infrastructures were developed in the name of WNTV, WMBS, in the name of Cocoa House, and all these roads and all those things. When he came up in 1978, he wanted to continue, and he was focusing on rural integration, whereby what we are enjoying in the city, because already there had already been a mass drift from the villages to the so-called urban centers, with all the congestions, with the neglect of the rural areas where most of the food will be coming in. So those farmers were aging, and everybody was even abandoning. So that was how Nigeria came up to begin to experience food insecurity. In fact, statistics shows that in Southwest today, food insecurity has affected almost 56%. And in some 3 states in the north, it's recorded as 84.3%. So you could see that why government is now crying of poorest of the poor, it irritates people like us. Because why we vote for you and why you are there is to really identify the areas of the problems on ground and to fix it. So due to insecurity, we know the consequences. We know that a lot of people that we have in Nigeria today are vulnerable to diseases, vulnerable to, because from one kind of equation I have on me, it's a model. I discovered that the areas of wellness, if it is met, nutrition will lead straight to wellness. But where nutrition is not efficiently handled and people are suffering from food insecurity, then you need to continue to visit the hospitals for to reporting this ailment, that ailment. And if that continues, let us now look at the structures of our medical services in Nigeria. It's very poor. It's very poor. Accessibility, availability is only to the elites. A lot of people are still illiterate. A lot of people are ill-educated. So there are things that have us out, and we are not doing things professionally here. These are the major problems we are having in Nigeria. We are not doing it professionally. So the areas that really touched us, that really drove us backward, happened to happen in 2007, 2009, where the infrastructure breakdown was experienced, and a lot of almost 847 companies relocated to another nations outside Nigeria. You could see that kind of explosion. That's because right. When you talk of food security or insecurity, it's a function of finance. If you don't have the money, you can't take what you want. And if you are able to take very good food at the time, as timely as it must be, then that area of malnutrition, even for children, will be so many. So that area of food insecurity, even if it is that only, when you look at the SDG, you will agree with me that the first priority was to address poverty. And that, secondly, it was about hunger. Huh? So if the United Nations could really identify that as what can lead to the extinction of humanity, if that area of food insecurity continues, then all nations that are signatories to all these international instruments from the United Nations are supposed to be respected. So when I see politicians coming up with manifestos, and I discovered that they were just doing another thing beside the SDG, I don't look at it. You could have picked even one or two from this SDG thing and face it, rather than now coming with a program that is not really feasible and just for campaign or something. So I think why I'm saying this is that the youth in Nigeria are suffering a lot. The youth in Nigeria are suffering a lot, and a lot of them are growing to have wife, to have a husband. So if you're singly, you are suffering from a lack of finances, and by the time you become two, what will be happening? So you could see that.
Prof, I'm sorry. You said something that just interests me. You said that we are having the same problem in Nigeria, and people still want to marry, they want to have children. Now we have this problem in Nigeria. No food. The food is insufficient for us. I know so many people, they are going to nail me on this. Why are we still producing children when we don't have food? And if we have to, God gives child, I know that, we can't stop that. But there's a way we can prevent that. If I know that I don't have enough money to take care of the family, why am I having them? Today, whenever I come to Nigeria, I've seen many families that they don't have money for just one child, and they have more than 3, 4, 5. How do we control that? Because now we are just saying that the government, we are expecting the government to do this. But what of ourselves, individual, families? Are we not part of the solution to this food insecurity in our country?
We are supposed to be part of the solutions, but a situation where people are already disabled because the poverty we are experiencing in Nigeria is artificial. Some people believe that if we subjugate all these people to a critical set of wants, they will do what we want them to do. So that is our situation. What we are saying is can hold well in America, where you are having well-informed citizens. It is about education. Education will let you realize that let me have the number of children I think I can cope with. But without adequate education or sensitization, The problem there will be, God has said that we must reprocreate and come and be something like that, and that will be that is what is really happening. And you can look at the natural urge of men. How many of us can control ourselves? So sensitization and functional education, these are the kind of things that can really save us from individual thinking and right about how best to do things. For example, even when you say there is food insecurity and all those things, you see people in ceremonies. They don't have money to pay for school children, for their school fees, for the school fees of their children. They don't have money. But when somebody dies now, you will see them in ceremonies, self-spending.
Exactly. That's why I said that we are part of the solution. And if we don't start the solution from our home, how do we expect the government? Okay, when Senator Judu came on the program, he mentioned something that really cuts me on, I was like, he said that he was in Nakure, in Ekiti, going to his farm, and the youth came to him to pay him a visit, and he's, preparing to go to the farm, and he told them, I'm going to the farm, guys, and if you don't mind, you can join me. If not, I'll come back and meet you. If people of those youth can go to such man for help, and this man is going to the farm to work on the farm, and they just live like that, they didn't follow him to that where he usually get the money they expect him to give them. Now, this same youth will go on social media, have money to buy data, doing sort of things on media, going to the party, going to all sort of things, and yet they don't have money. You look at that. That is why I said you don't expect me to give you money when I know that you are not even useful for yourselves. A lot of opportunity are there. I've seen many youths, which we have already invited onto this program, doing well in the community. They're not waiting for anybody. Because if we are talking about food insecurity, we are all part of solution to that. It starts from us. Every problem we have in the country, the solution must come from our homes individually. There is no doubt about it. I'm going to take you to the question people just asked, and it's related to one of the questions I'm going to ask you. And the question is coming from the fuel and tax increase. The person is asking the questions, but I'm going to reframe it based on the question that I have for you. And now, if we're talking about food insecurity, we know that anytime we have problem with that word, there will be increase in either tax or fuel. And once the fuel is up, everything in the market goes up. And when the food in the market goes up, the fuel price also goes up. Are we not fighting a losing battle against food insecurity in the context of an extra % increase in fuel and tax? That is on government side. And if you're going to answer that question, I also want you to look at the area of individual. If I buy $10, 50 naira of worth of a product, and I'm still selling it 60 naira. When the fuel goes up, I still have that particular product. It's not that I go back to my my merchants to buy another one after the fuel increase. Trust me, people will sell that particular product at the price when the fuel increase. Are we not adding to the problem? That is the area, the two questions I want you to look at it. The one is fighting the battle against the food insecurity in a context of an extra increase in fuel and tax. And at the same time, adding more money to, when we are not supposed to. So these are the two areas I want you to address for us, because this is what is killing us in the country. And that will also increase the percentage, the rate of food insecurity in our country. So I want you to address that, sir.
First and foremost, government. What is government? When you go into governance, it is about selfless service. It is about service. But this time around is business as usual. These are the major problems we are having, psychological. Because most of the things we teach the children, your children in schools, they are basic, they are factual. But education we are offering them is just 20% of what they need to live their life. 80% of what they need to complement that particular education on theoretical or whatever they have received is from what they see around, is from what the feelers, the kind of news. A situation whereby you teach them not to steal, you teach them not to do this, you teach them that they must make first class, and all those things. They are out no work. And they see their colleagues with connections, even with poorer certificate worth. They see them now flying all about. You could see that, that's why I say that you cannot compare African setting now. We are far, far behind what is expected of the 21st century in Africa. So if really Nigeria wants to really make it, they need to take to what they are able to see in America, how they come about saying, okay, let us fashion our presidential something towards an American system, and they have to walk the talk, not just importing an idea and then they are doing it their own way. So where I'm going on this is this. Let us compare two houses. One has a disciplined parent. The other have a parent that does not care. What kind of product do you expect from a child that is coming up from a disciplined parent? When you have a government that is highly disciplined, that is above board regarding corruption, I'm telling you, because if they say the citizens must sit at home, they must not go out, the power is there for them. So it is what the youth are seeing from these elderly people that are not remodeling anything during the period of Awolowo. Look at how Iran is government, Iran is parties and the government. He was making use of the lives of Wale Soyinka, the lives of Professor Awojobi, Tai Solani, Baba Alayande, and a lot of people that do not really believe in amassing wealth by virtue of having an opportunity. But what they had in mind was to ensure that humanity is better off. And that's why they were able to really do all the feats we are now referring to now. So what I'm saying in essence is that when even you look at the content of the broadcast made by Kaduna Nzegu in 1966, January 15, he said, we cannot allow Nigeria to tolerate the 10%ers in the business circle as well as the government circle. It is just, corruption was just going towards 10% then, and it is struck. Today, corruption is above 1,000%. I'm telling you. So when you are now having children under this kind of a cloudy atmosphere, already you are disabling them. Look at what Maslow hierarchy of need tell us.
Professor, before you go there, I have a question from from the viewer. Mr. Soji Adeusi from Atlanta. His question is this. He said that, how can the young people interested in farming get finances to start farming business? So any opportunity for collaboration between the government and private sector to help the youth?
That is an area of a community-supported agriculture. We have it on ground, but it's not widespread. In Lagos, as an example, we have the CSA arrangement on grant. The CSA provides needed funds for farmers and ensures affordable fresh food for consumers. So that is, when you get to Alausa, you see workers buying fresh food and all those things. It has that arrangement. Some people will pay within 12 months, they will have the goods.
Okay.
In fact, the group have been successful in doing what? In supplying all the some outlets, and money is coming down there. If such an arrangement can be made to be national, to be adopted in every state, then the youth may have hope. That's number one. Number two is that I made one mention of one thing to government, and they have not taken it. I said, people now learning at a time they are about to graduate in tertiary institutions. They are learning tailoring. They are learning all these things. They ought to have learned that at SS3. So what they are now learning now, let us, for example, in the areas of technical colleges, they are as well dead as anything.
Yeah, I was about to say that because I don't even hear that word, that institution in existence anymore. Do they cancel that institution, or colleges, it's just that nobody is going?
That is. A lot of people, but they ironically made it highly unattractive. They let people believe that it is only those people that cannot make it that can go the dropout. And it's never like that. Education is not like that. That's
true.
The major areas where we are bastardizing the culture of functional education. When you go to such school today, we need to upgrade facilities in such schools. It's not attractive, but if we are able to go there by the standard set for that particular school, that is where you begin to develop skill formally now. So all other areas, before that, the artists, we are producing artisans or skilled labor. But at that particular level, most especially if you want to go into areas like environment, like engineering, that area is very, very vital. But already, it's already, what do I say? It's already made unattractive to people. And I could remember when one of my children wanted to go to school, to further, I said, go for NCE first, before you go for the so-called thing, because this is where you can make a brochure. And some people came to me, how can your child go to NCE? Man, NCE is not. That is what education is not about rushing into universities.
That's true.
About developing the affective domain, most especially in the areas of attitudinal building. Developing the cognitive. If you are so brilliant, then you may continue straight to the university. And you develop the psychomotor. It is psychomotor that will be able to, where will you be able to use your hands, connecting with your brain, and you'll be able to come out with something. And but all these things are only being taught in theories.
That's true.
Because most of the schools.
Prof, let me quickly, before because of our time, we have to be time conscious. We have your people on the program today, and I'm going to be telling you, delivering their message they are sending to you through, YouTube to you. And Mrs. Emily Omoibra is saying, happy Sunday, sir. Wonderful people. And he's saying, God bless you, our father. Nice seeing you, Daddy, on the program. Mr. Tolu Lokpe Ayorinde, he said, Daddy, you are welcome on the program. God bless you. And he said, thank you, Prof.
Very much.
Yes, I have Honorable Wadley Adelano also saying, you're welcome on the program. God bless you. Mr.
God bless you
Soji
too, sir.
from Atlanta saying, welcome, great job. Ayodele Asan say, well done, sir. We have bunch of people, they're saying you are a wonderful father. And I have Mr. Yusuf Ibrahim. Yeah, Mr. Yusuf Ibrahim is saying, well done. Anytime he's on the program with you, he always enjoys. And he's saying, thank you for being the father of less privilege and so on. Mrs. Titi is saying, thank you. Happy Sunday to everyone. Prof, now let's go back to food insecurity one more time before we end it. In some parts of Africa today, women and children walk in an average of nearly 4 miles for drinking water that is not always safe to drink. That is even the water. We're not talking about the food now, just ordinary water. It is not available. How do we determine if a child or adult in our community is food insecure? Is there any easy fix to food insecurity or poverty in our community? Because I find it so difficult. Whenever I'm in Nigeria, people will ask you, I don't have money back, but you see them wearing quality, clothes that you cannot even wear, building houses, yet they still see themselves that they have nothing to eat in the house. So how do we measure, how do we determine who is food insecure in our community?
When it comes to, people need a lot of orientation and orientation. That's why I always challenge NOAA, National Orientation Agencies. I always challenge them, be proactive in the way you do things. When people are ignorant of a lot of things, they injure themselves without knowing. And they'll be saying it's somebody that is causing them that injury. So that is where education should be functional. In fact, when Baba Awolowo was talking of education, he was not even talking of university education. He was talking of the fact that even if you have ordinary primary 6, you must be conscious of who you are, conscious of what you are. You must know your limitations, and you must be ready to improve on yourself. If you have even ordinary school cert, you must be able to really put up things. That is the essence of functional education. Today is just about certificates. And only few people are able to really use what they have. So some people are really poor. Some people are really poor, you will know, through the type of food they when you look at the culture is affecting a lot of people. You don't have money to do this, to buy good food. You don't have money even to send your children to school. But if it's a burial ceremony, you will be buying clothes. That is what we are experiencing.
Oh my goodness. And do we say that those ones are poor if they can buy?
A lot of them go and borrow.
Oh.
And after that, they'll be running about.
Wow.
Because where they got the money, when they come and pay up, the problem is that they'll be running at all those things. So that is where I'm saying that people need to be educated, really educated. Orientation must be super. We must be able to identify our areas of weaknesses and fix it. That is why we have some agencies. So some people are living by misplacement of priorities. They don't even know what is fundamental. Food is fundamental in anybody's life, and it must be nutritious. That is it. But it will take a government that has a listing. It's not about business. Governance is not about business. It's about how do I reorientate these people from animalistic tendency into realizing themselves that they are human beings. You don't need to be a millionaire before you can help others. You don't need to be a millionaire before you can live well. That is just it. But a lot of people will be looking for, after getting the fundamental, they'll be looking for luxuries. And these luxuries they are about, they don't even know how to manage it. This is why I'm proposing that there should be a kind of concept of philanthropy as it must be entrenched in our school curriculum. It must be entrenched in the churches and mosque curriculum. So if we are able to really know how best to organize to help others, because it has to be strategically done, methodically done. It's not about you need money and you give money. If you want to get 5 naira from me, I will ask you, why do you think you need it? What do you want to do with it? So people may say, you talk too much or you are probing me too much. That's
true.
It's a necessary thing to do. All these politicians, I tell them, this is what we are able to do. Immediately you are able to get your ticket to the secretariat or to Abuja. At your base, have a standard office. There are a lot of people that you can give some tokens per month, 20, 30, 40. And they'll be doing it. For example, in Nigeria today, politicians will give you what they think you need, and you may not need it. They must allow us to say, this is what we want, this is what we need. Even if you cannot be provided immediately, politicians must be able to say, in so months, we'll be working towards it, because he has the statistics, he has all the data, the facts are on ground. He will know. For example, they say palliative and they are buying cycles for people. And cycles are killing a lot of people here now. Whereas there are a lot of things that can make life better, which they can do, but because they don't have a think tank. I was talking of Awolowo that he had a think tank, and those think tanks were not even thinking about themselves.
Prof, let me come in right there. In the US today, there are numbers of federal and community-based nutrition support for family and, for family, such as supplemental nutrition assistance program. We call it food stamp. That's if you have a low income, you are qualified to get that. The money is put in a card where you go to the store and purchase food, just for food only. They also have special supplemental nutrition program for women, infants, and children. If you are pregnant, if you are nursing mother, and if you are also children, you are entitled to this benefit. Is there anything like that in Nigeria? If no, what is the possible nutrition support program for food insecurity for the family that can be implemented by either the government or community base? And I want this question in, maybe just give us heads up on that for a few minutes, about 1 to 2 minutes, because of our time.
Like your foundation now, our foundation. Foundation. Our priority is on focusing on the needy and ensuring that we have impact on them by giving them what we think can sustain them. If we are able to orientate ourselves like that, and we have a lot of people, I always challenge them there. You talk of Ford Foundation, you talk of this and that. Look at Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter is never in Africa. And he says all the Guinea worm around us must not live. So is that not a challenge to anybody that may have anything in his pocket to think of the neighbor, of the, most especially the needy? That is number one. We need to emulate that foundation which you are heading for us. We need to emulate that. Secondly, every land, every plot of land around us in Nigeria, we must be sensitized to ensure that we plant some things that we think may be of immediate need. That's number one, like ugu, like bitter leaf and all those
vegetables.
Vegetables. Mm-hmm. Then, livestock is part of what can sustain us. You have what to eat and you have what to sell. So at individual level, we must think of what we think we can. Towards my retirement, that's what, because I cannot fall short of the philanthropic move of which I'm made. At the same time, I think of how do I sustain myself after this something, and that is what I'm really doing. I don't lack anything, and I continue to really do the philanthropic work of which I'm known and of which I'm doing. So if we must be proactively, one must be able to come out with something that will really sustain one, even if a condition changes. This is what I'm saying. So the thirdly now, in Nigeria, we can emulate some groups. We have Action Against Hunger Group Support for Borno, Jigawa, Yobe, and Kano states through nutrition and health interventions. That is their own work there. Because in the north, you have a lot of people that are undernourished.
Yes.
They are malnourished. They are
have
suffering.
High rate of malnutrition in the north.
So,
yes.
So these people are really helping out. And we have Nigerian Strategy Support Program of the International Food Policy Research Institute. They conduct research and advise on strategic policy options to support agri. We have
and
that.
These are from government, program, or is it an individual program?
It's a government program. This one is a government program because
okay, we have that as government program. So why are we not seeing the effectiveness on people out there? Because I'm just hearing this for the first time. And if things like that is going on in the country, if you have that program, just like 2 programs it's just 2 out of 7 programs, food program, nutrition program here. I just mentioned 2. And these 2 is known all over United States. It's a federal government program. I'm not even talking about the state by state. So if a program is in a country, we should have the effect, we should see the effectiveness of this program, but we're not seeing it. Because if we have this, the rate of food insecurity in our country should decline. But we don't have it. It's the reason why we still have the food insecurity rate at that level of where we have it right now, maybe because of the non-profit organizations such as foundations, what they are doing in the community, make it low, bring it down. Otherwise, if we don't have foundation like us, we deal with health and wellness. That's what our foundation handled in Nigeria precisely, not even in the US, in Nigeria. So we are trying to have impact on our people. So if the government have this program you just mentioned, why are we not seeing the effect on the people?
If I can remind us of the youth on peaceful protests. Their demand was 7. They want reforms regarding education, because education is suffering from underfunding, almost less than 7% every time. So they want reform. Are they listening to these people that are going to be our leaders tomorrow? So these are the areas where we really need to sensitize ourselves, where we need to beg them. Whoever wants to go into any office, have the people in your mind, the people to serve. Don't allow, for example, let me tell you one thing. When you look at poverty indices in Nigeria on record, in 1960 to 66, it rose to 15%. In 1983, it rose to 28.8%. Around 1990, it rose to 54%, then 65%. Then in 1999, it was 70% by the experts in economics. So why are successive governments not being able to really make worst thing down so that we'll be able to record this is an improvement? So if poverty is an underlying tone, then the area of food insecurity should not be a surprise. So that is just it. It's our management strategy that is bad. We have over-politicized everything in Nigeria to the extent that we are not skill-based when it comes to appointments. You can have somebody who read history to managing technology. Yeah. So when you have this kind of square peg in round holes, what do you expect? So, but those people that want to come, because in Nigeria today, the opposition, they are always saying we are Messiah. By the time they come around, we voted for them, they get worse than those people that were voted out.
Oh, Prof, I'm sorry to come in right there. I have to read the message of my people. I have Dr. Udubanjo from South Africa is coming on the program. It's our next guest on the program. He's a doctor of medicine and is Nigerian, South African. It's saying that thank you so much, Prof, for your honest utterances. God bless you. And I have Mr. Ade Romu Adeleye saying thank you for discussing this topic. God bless you, sir. We have Mr. Tajuddin Saka. We hope Nigerian government could listen to our erudite father. We have Mr. Ridwan Oyeniyi say, God will continue to increase your wisdom, sir. Thank you, amen. So, and more are coming, and we say thank you to you, all our viewers, for your comment, for supporting us today, be on the program. Prof, before you go, I want you to please, the last question I have on this program is just to give us heads up, especially to our youth, what they can do to make life meaningful for themselves without waiting for the government. And I want this in 30 seconds.
What they can do, the first thing is that they must look at those people that are doing well. They must not be discouraged by those people that are bastardizing things. Because tomorrow you'll be in charge. That's number one. Number two is that there are a lot of abundance of opportunities through the internet facilities. Don't use them for pornography. Don't use them for all these anti-something, but use them for educational and business. And that is number two. Number three is that everybody born by a parent has a kind of a direct heritage from the parents. If your father is a carpenter, and by the time that thing is already in your blood, but you can make it better. If you are going into furniture, or you are going to, you can be a contractor, you can have some people that will, this. So because it's hereditary, that one is hereditary in you. So if we are able to look into that, above all, the areas of food, we have the crop production, we have livestock, we have the forestry is a big something, and then we have fishing. So all these areas are the areas where you can even input small capital, and you can, with the care, you can try, you can thrive through it. These are the areas through which you can self-improve yourself. When you are doing that, if the opportunity to have a white-collar job from government comes in, you don't disband that. You put some people there, and you'll be supervising them from wherever you may find yourself. So there are opportunities. We don't have any cause to steal. We don't have any cause to go into any form of fraud. Wow. Because any nation that is being governed by people with veins of democracy in them, such a nation is doomed. Because
that's right. You're right, Prof. Wow, it's been so beautiful, awesomely informative and interesting on the program today. And this is to tell you how unique competent, and fully loaded our Father is today and always. Right now, I'm sorry to bring this interview with experts to an end. It feels like we should continue because I'm really enjoying our Father, and I'm sure if I don't stop him, we will be here till tomorrow. You never get tired, I'm telling you. So please, let my daddy go. It is time to go to bed. I've read all your questions, all your, greetings, and I've delivered your message to our Father. And our Father is saying, thank you for having him on the program today. And Prof, I want to say thank you so much for coming to enlighten us on this particular important topic, food insecurity in our country, and solutions to solve this problem. God will bless you, sir. We really appreciate you for being who you are, the father for the orphans and lovers of less privilege. And I pray for protection. I pray for long life to enjoy the fruits of your labor, peace and good health to enjoy your life to the fullest. Thank you so much, sir. It's been a pleasure having you again on the program. I pray God will continue to strengthen you the more. I don't want us to go, but unfortunately, I have to let you go. Thank you so much for coming on. And my regards to everybody. Thank you, sir. Bye. Have a good night. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, sir. Wow, my people, it's been wonderfully beautiful today. I know you enjoy our Father. I do, because anytime it's on the program, it's always fun. It's always full of information. And today on nutrition segment, in few minutes before we go, I want us to quickly look at the area of food digestion. On the health segment today, we learn what digestive system it's all about. So let's talk about the food that can help with digestion today on nutrition segment. What are the foods you can eat if you're having indigestion or constipation? Briefly, I'm going to list them. If you have pen and paper, grab it and write it down because you need it. A lot of people complain, I can't go to the bathroom, I can't move my bowel, I can't do this, I can't do that. It's because you are having constipation or you're having indigestion. So one of the reason why you're having it is your food is not digesting. You eat too much of carbohydrate that have no fiber. That's just it. Any food with fiber will make you run to the restroom. You move your bowel on time without any discomfort. So I'm going to list briefly, because of our time, these are the food you can eat to have good and healthy digestion anytime you eat. You want to go for beets. Beets, it's very good. It has fiber. The fiber in beet help improve digestion by helping feed friendly gut bacteria and also add bugs to your stool, which means that you go to bathroom on time. No difficulties in removing your bowel. And also you want to go for ginger. Ginger helps improve digestion and prevent nausea. If you are having, whenever I'm pregnant, that's my problem. I always vomit. I have nausea, I split, and it was just crazy. But what I do is I eat ginger. I blend, I drink water, that the juice that come out of the ginger, I make sure I drink it. You can also eat it raw. Just peel it, wash it, and put it in your mouth. It helps with nausea. And another thing you want to do is peppermint. Peppermint oil is made from the essential oils found in peppermint leaves. And the oils appear to have a relaxing effect on the muscle of your digestive tract. So you want to go for peppermint if you're having indigestion. Also, whole grain food such as brown rice, wheat bread, grain bread, beans, All these food have fiber content that aids digestion. Try to go for them. Instead of white bread is too high in carbohydrate. So you want to go for wheat bread or grain bread instead of white bread. White rice, also the same thing. You can substitute your white rice with brown rice or basmati rice, or probably our local food, a local rice. You can go for local rice. It's also good. We don't have much carbohydrates in that. I would suggest you go for that in the absence of brown or basmati rice, because I tell a lot of people in Nigeria, they tell me they can't find brown rice, but trust me, is at that ShopRite. I bought it there when I ran out of rice that I brought home some times ago. So you can grab it from ShopRite. And if you don't have it, go for our local rice. You also want to go for fruits and vegetables. Trust me, you can't miss it. I remember when we were growing, and when I complained to my mother, like I have constipation. I don't even know what they call it there because I was young. I just tell my mother, I can't go to the bathroom for the past 2-3 days. My mother will go and eat beans, go and eat vegetables, efo, shokobure, all those things we eat, and it gives me relief. I guess that was the reason why I fall in love with fruit and vegetables, because I'm used to that. That's the medicine my mother always tell me to go for whenever I'm having constipation, not knowing that this is going to be my profession. So please and please, I'm going to suggest and I'm going to advise, to my own understanding as an experienced one in this profession, go for vegetables. Fruit and vegetable is very high in fiber. And this is the only thing that can make you run to the bathroom and have, comfort when you eat. Right now, the bottom line of all that I've been saying about digestive system is this. Digestive system is issue, and you must handle it. You must take care of yourself with it, because it can lead to so many problems. Medical problems. So digestive issues can be challenging, but certainly I must tell you this, food may be helpful in easing uncomfortable symptoms. I believe somebody is blessed today. I believe you gained something and we inspired you today. And that is all we can do. That is all information we can give on the program today. And I want to say thank you so much for joining us again. Holding on instead of you being on your bed, staying with us to watch us live. God bless you. I love you all. This is Betsy Olayinka Folarin Akinlosotu, aka Bofa, advocating on health and wellness from Healthy Living with Bofa TV YouTube channel. I'll see you next week. But before then, let me leave you with this. Please and please, prevent the spread of this COVID. It's still on, it's still going on. It's everywhere in the world. Keep wearing the face cover. Keep your hands clean all the time. Continue keeping physical distance and avoiding large gathering. Get tested and vaccinated for COVID-19, whether or not you have symptoms. Most importantly, stay home if you are sick to avoid spreading of this deadly virus. Until next week, I meet you again. Stay safe, healthy, and stick to Healthy Living with Bofa. I'm your host, Betsy Olayinka Folarin, reaching to you live here on YouTube. I'll see you next week by God's grace. I love you. God love you.